Hello and welcome to my personal operator tier list for Rainbow Six Siege for Year 10 Season 1 as of March 2025. Now before I begin, I gotta state that this is based purely upon my 8 or so non-professional years of experience, aka when Operation Health was released. So just playing with stacks in ranked and having watched a pretty decent amount of Pro League. For more context, I primarily play hard support and flex roles, spending at least 80% of every round either on a drone, flicking cams or bandit tricking. For some reason I actually enjoy droning. But I digress. The tiers go from S to C, with D being replaced by needs a rework. Main reason being, early spoilers, is that pretty much every operator in the game is at least useful to some extent, at least in my opinion anyway. So kicking things off, Ace is going straight into S, arguably the best hard breacher in the game, with the potential of opening 3 crouch shite holes, all whilst at a safe range, so not locked in any animation like Thermite and Mav. Pair this with one of the best, if not the best gun in the game, and hard breaches, sorry not hard breaches, just breach charges to add the option of applying vertical pressure. Yeah, he's very strong. The only thing that really lets him down is the fact that he needs 2 charges to open 1 hatch. Otherwise, yeah, you just bring a banner for that, but yeah, he's pretty much played in every single lineup I've ever played in, so yeah, must pick. Next up, Amaru. Yeah, she's incredibly situational. Like, don't get me wrong, very fun to play and a great operator to pick if you want to execute a site rush, especially if you're playing against like a really roam heavy team. Like the G8 does absolutely shred. 51 bullets in a mag, fast rate of fire and reload, flashbangs, can openers or hybrid charges, the option of a supernova SMG-11 loadout. Yeah, she is pretty solid. Also, combining other nomad and good drone placements, you could take and more importantly hold ground really quickly. So say you find a gap, whether it be vertical or actually on site itself, go straight in, cut off all rotates, open arch or wall in sight, plant, boom, round over. You know, the more I think about it, she is more of a B than a C. But bear in mind, like her effectiveness is kind of like diminished after the round she's picked, as the other team will probably play a little bit tighter once you've used her. Like, yeah, she's a B. I mean, like the other team will probably end up playing differently, but that might not be like a negative, because you could play with that. You could get them to start thinking, oh, we're going to rush this round, but we're not actually. So it gets them to play tight, and then you can roam clear a lot quicker because they're all like bunkered down on site. So yeah, she's basically like in football terms, she is the long ball in behind, like completely bypasses the midfield. So I would say B, but lower B, just because of how situational she is. Ash is an upper A, lower S operator for me. Like the fact that she can smash mirrors with a breaching launcher and destroy utility quickly, whilst having the R4C and the G36C as a primary option. It's a little, like the weaponry is a bit generous, I can't lie. Additionally, like with like Azami being very much meh and Mira notoriously being an absolute cunt to counter usually, the ease of using Ash's launcher instead of like a Twitch drone and actually wriggling its way through. Yeah, she's, whoa. I'm gonna go lower S. Lower S. That might be a little overrated. She's probably A really, like an upper A, but I think just with Azam, it's more like meta related for the ranking for that. So S, yeah. Blackbeard, well. It's not exactly a secret, he is completely broken still and makes the game a miserable experience. A shield with an AR. When you want to shoot, the face shield, and only the face shield, instantly falls down to allow you to shoot with full protection to every other body part when crouched. As you can imagine, combine this with quick leaning and spamming the ADS button, he is terrible to play against. And he can also breach soft walls, which, you know, why not, I guess. I don't understand how like operators like this make it through a test server when everyone universally says he's broken, or said he's broken before he got released, and he is still broken. So yeah, Gona needs a rework. Enough said. Obviously he's an S. Like, he's the best operator in the game, but that's why he needs a rework. So yeah, next. Actually, before we go on, I just got to mention, he's not only good at like range, if you get next to him, because he's a shield, he can knock you down. He's basically an entry fragging intel operator with nades, by the way, which he can throw again behind the shield in full protection to destroy utility or to bait like someone camping in a spot out. Whatever. Now I mean next. Blitz, again, still a very strong operator, even with the recent nerfs. Not being able to instantly injure anyone is, I guess, one step in the right direction, but only one. You can still absolutely obliterate defense on most sites with the right coordination. Also, a point that doesn't really get mentioned enough, but he does have smokes, which makes him very strong in my opinion. Like, he can basically force short range engagements, which he should be winning every single time. So yeah, say you're trying to take like rafters or anything where you're trying to take like map control quickly. Bring a blitz. It's still very, very, very useful. So I'm gonna go for A. Rubber is an interesting one. The sheer amount of electronic gadgets on defense, having the ability to hack cams, batteries, KE claws, EEDs, jammers, blah blah blah. She can provide a lot of intel, even if she's not directly hacking everything. Because at the end of the day, she has 4 drones, which is obviously going to be useful. Also, if the defenders don't communicate that well, these things can go easily unnoticed, or better still, completely forgotten about. So if you want to rush a site or simply plan and execute, but they have a Malusi, Capcam, or any intel operator in the game, electrical based, she will be pivotal to the attack. And a little bit like Amaru, you can kind of play mind games in the sense that if you keep bringing her round after round, the defense might decide to not bring as much electrical intel. So, and obviously that will naturally benefit the attack massively. So yeah, 3 speed, good gadget for multiple different playstyles, smoke grenades, secondary shotgun, but a pretty average primary weapon. Overall, I'm gonna go A. Yeah, Buck's an easy A. Potentially the best soft breaching operator in the game, especially in a post-plant scenario, or when trying to kill a mirror or any operator really in a power position that has a wooden floor either above or below them. So I'm thinking pretty much every site on Cafe, Border, Consulate, Chalet, yeah, most maps he'll be useful. Sure, he's not RAM, but he can apply better pressure from below at least in my opinion. So yeah, the removal of the hard breach gadget is a pretty decent nerf, as he used to be able to assist with hatch opening as well as providing vertical support, but he still has a grey weapon and flash grenades, so yes, solid A. One of my favourite operators, to be honest. Capitao, again, comfortable A. Sure, a boring, underwhelming weapon, but with a lack of nade priming, he's essential for moving out defenders from power positions, regardless of the flooring being destructible or not. Especially on rafters, and that goes for rafters on any map, not just the club one. So yep, precise smoke bolts for planet assisting, hard breach gadget for hatches, gun 6. He's a good all-rounder, proving essential for any defense that's really hunkered down. Deimos. So at the moment I think Deimos is pretty lethal. His ability makes a roamer's life a lot harder, which is absolutely needed in the game at this stage. The fact that you only need to scan a defender to be able to use his live tracker, so basically no effort required, is brutal. Even more so if you use him above or below the floor of your victim. So, especially like if it's wood, you can just shoot straight through it on a red ping. So yeah, very useful. Plus you can use it 3 times, and he's got a no recoil, very high damage scope magnum to assist with this. And hard breach charges or nades. So even if you leave Deimos on the roof, you can just live track someone, giving your teammates the exact calls. Now obviously the tracker works both ways, so you have a chance to kill him, to counter him, but you would still be at a huge disadvantage. So at the moment, I'm going to go for S. I genuinely think in this meta, he is very, very good. Huckabee is another S for me. Sure, the recent nerf has stopped her calling as soon as the round begins, and there is somewhat of a delay after each call. But she still requires absolutely no effort or skill to use a gadget. You don't have to be in any danger zone to be able to use her universal ability. So if you can't be asked to drone, she's essential for locating 99% of all operators in the game. On top of this, you have a decent DMR, which will be useful for soft hatches and keeper barricades. With an SMG-12, that should win pretty much every close quarter engagement, regardless of your recoil control. So my tip is just aim for the chest and you'll get a headshot, because the recoil will just line up to it. Additionally, you can choose between smokes or EMPs for breaching the wall, So she can hunt down roamers, help with breaching or planting. Yeah, easy S. Now Thinker is a really weird one. Like, in my opinion, she's extremely average, maybe even below average. Like, having an insta heal for the entire team is okay, plus her spear and LMG are, again, okay. Nades or smokes is alright, but a gadget is kind of... It's only really semi-useful for the odd crazy rush, as she doesn't have can openers or EMPs, making her pretty useless in a team composition. Like, there's lots of better options to pick if you're actually trying to win a game in a serious battle with a proper opponent, not just some random solo queues in rank. So for me, I'll say C. Flores, in the current meta, he's probably an A, maybe even S when you play against a team that hunker down behind shields, and especially the keeper barricades from Azami. So like Maestro bubbles, bulletproofs, anything really. Any intel gadget on defense, he's really useful for destroying it, because I think he has 4, doesn't he? So yeah, his gun is solid, nothing flashy, but decent. So yeah, no, he's solid. I'm gonna go for A. Fuse is a strange one. It can be useful for clearing utility or funneling defenders out of positions, and he does have access to can openers as well as an AK-12 or a shield, which for some reason has become a little bit of a meta. But he's very prone to being C4'd because you can hear him from a mile away. So I would argue perhaps too situational to be any higher than like a B. So yeah, B. Glaz is very much a plan-based operator for me. If you bait out the defender's C4s and place your smokes well, he can be extremely strong for providing support during a plant, especially in the right hands, but again, too situational for me. So I'll be nice and say B, but for the majority of players, probably a C. Gridlock realistically should be a B, but I find the gadget more useful at muffling the sound of the plants rather than actually covering a flank. That being said, the sidearm shotgun and smokes or EMPs is nice to see. I'm gonna put her at C, but I want to see some tweaks to a gadget. There's just better options nowadays for flank watch. There's like Nomad is just far better. So yeah, C for me. Grim, very useful gadget for active pushes onto side, shutting down the immediate flanks whilst also having the option of EMPs or can openers as a secondary gadget. 3 speed, decent primary, bailiff secondary, very solid A. Again, a plant focused operator in my opinion. Very, very good on Oregon. I'm thinking specifically down highway. I love using him on that. But any site really, he's good. So solid A, yeah. Ibana, again, solid A. Any side that requires multiple hatches being opened, aka clubhouse, basement, she's essential. She also has an amazing primary and secondary weapon, but for the majority of sites, you're kind of probably just better off using Ace or Thermite, as sad as it is to say. They open walls quicker, they use less utility to open said wall. Yeah. A solid A, not quite S. Ayana, yeah, the removal of nade cooking has really hit her hard. She's average, good primary weapon, fairly good utility, and a gadget can be useful as bait, especially when paired with a teammate to feed off her calls. Smokes or EMPs makes her a viable option, but nah, she's just kind of average. B's a bit generous. I'll say B, but yeah, go on B. IQ is basically the solace of attack. Her gadget is useful as she is a direct counter to trap and intel based ops, and her weapons are decent, but again, she's kind of just okay. In my opinion, yeah, she's a solid B, and you know what? I'm gonna move Ayana down to C, because IQ and Ayana are not the same level. IQ is definitely better than Ayana, so yeah. Jackal, again, it might sound like I'm racing through these, but Jackal is probably an upper B, maybe an A. Useful gadget, albeit slightly overrated. Having smokes and 2 incredibly good primaries. Again, a bit like Ash, don't really understand why he has 2 extremely useful primaries. But anyway, sidearm shotgun is, again, always useful. Oh, I'll go A. Callie is a bit of an odd one. She's useful for removing bandits and keep barricades especially, but a primary being a sniper in Siege kinda just lets her down. Like in a game where a headshot is an insta kill, there's just better options. Like sure, her sidearm SMG is pretty damn good, but she's just another underwhelming one for me. So yeah, I'd like to see a lot of tweaks to her, to be honest, like to a primary specifically, but overall not full rework, just some tweaks. So I'm gonna give her a B. Lion is a great operator to bring for any rush strats or solo plays. Personally, I really like his AR, but you can use his DMR as well if you need to deal with hatches and keep barricades, of course. Overall, he's not really an essential operator to bring. Nades and flashbangs definitely suit his playstyle, but having MPs or can openers would make him a little bit more viable in like a team comp. I'm going to put in upper C, lower B on his day. We'll put him in C, but he is upper C. Again, this isn't an accurate graph, by the way. Just because they're higher up in the table doesn't mean they're actually better than the others in the table. I'm just throwing them all in there. Maverick. Now, for me, he has always been an S, and I absolutely hate this operator. As a bandit tricker, there is nothing worse than playing against a Maverick. He's just a cunt. If he's wearing a headset, he'll hear you trying to C4 him, so you can't even counter him. There is literally no gadget in the game other than Turborail's throwy ice thing. Yeah, professional term. Other than that, there is nothing to stop him. He will just open that wall, or he will assist in getting a thermite to then open the wall once he's basically made a kill hole so you can't get near the wall to counter it. So yeah, comfortable S, with a personal request from me to maybe nerf him or ever so slightly offer more counters, shall we say. So yeah, S. Speaking of S, Monty is up next, and yeah, he's still incredibly strong, even after the nerf. Combine a Monty with any kind of communication and you can beat any team in the game, regardless of your mechanical skill or their mechanical skill. Now I do believe that shields have a place in Siege. I know that's not a cool thing to say these days, but they do bring a unique playstyle to the game, which I actually enjoy. But we just need Ubisoft to remove the ability to throw smokes or any utility behind the full cover of your shield. And also the melee needs rework. The hit reg sometimes when you can shoot a shield through his face and kill him, yeah, that needs another rework. But yeah, absolutely an S with another nerf request from me. Thank you very much. Nook. I think she's a bit similar to Amaru in the sense that you play her as a one-off to make a massive play. I wouldn't ever pick her as part of a regular lineup because, like Amaru, she could die in the first 5 seconds, and because she provides no passive utility to the team, she's kind of useless. But she does have EMPs or can openers, which is nice. I think she's a C. She's like a mid C. If you give it to someone who's very good mechanically, they will do very well with her. But again, as an actual operator to provide intel for the team, she has to be a C. Nomad for me is one of the best operators in the game, without doubt. In football terms, she acts like a midfielder in the sense that she allows the attack to sustain pressure by holding the ground you take, preventing defenders from swinging every angle and flanking you late without being noticed. Basically, in every attack in Celb, a gadget has value. Whether it's a rush or a slow progressive plant, doesn't matter. She also has breach charges to help with vertical, and the option of 2 slightly above average primaries. I'm not a massive fan of either, to be honest, but they're alright. All that said, S. Aurora, if that's how you say it, is pretty fun to play, at least at the moment. It's very early doors. I specifically enjoy her because she feels a bit like Nomad in her playstyle. In fact, in many ways, she can be even better than Nomad because she uses an entire wall rather than just a little air jab device, so she can stop an entire line of sight, which is very useful for planting. And it also creates this like weird dynamic where the attackers become defenders and the defenders become attackers. So yeah, I think for planting and like clearing out specific roamers in a team composition, this is the main thing. She has to be in constant communication with a team to be really, really useful. So in a comp situation, she's probably going to be played a lot. That's my prediction at least. So I'm going to say A. Osa, she's pretty situational. By no means useless, but not an essential operator for literally any map. Like Clubhouse, you could use her on CC window. Like if they've got a gym defense and you want to block off anyone from peeking you on CC, like it can be useful. But again, they have impacts. It's useless. So she's more of a post-plant operator. And she has smokes, which is always nice. But I'm going to say B. That's maybe a bit generous. But weapons are really good as well. Yeah, we'll go B. Ram, very strong gadget. And the R4C, of course. So unlike Sledge and Buck to an extent, she can rip through floors from a safe position and have smokes to support the push on site. Yeah, the fact that she has smokes, that's very generous. She's very strong, but I still personally prefer Buck. But I'm not dumb, she's clearly an S. Sense, for me, an S. They are very strong, especially now Warden can't see through the gadget. I enjoy playing Sense a lot, and I'm very confident in the next few months there'll be a lot more playing Sense. I mean, there already is. Great primary, the option of a can openers as well. A gadget it can be lethal, and I think there'll be some new crazy strats that'll get released. Yeah, they're gonna be pretty broken, so comfortable S. Sledge, basically the James Milner of Siege. Solid operator, can destroy most gadgets, / all gadgets in the game within melee range. Obviously direct counter to castle as well. It's just not as good as Buck and Ram though. Upper B for me. Upper B. Again, this is not accurate, I'm just putting it in there, whatever. Striker, yeah, kind of soulless operator. Like M4, great weapon. Sidearm shotgun, pretty damn good. EMPs and can openers, so you can literally open up a wall that's banded on your own, which is, you know, kind of his main selling point, and he's pretty strong. But just because he's kind of like, he's just soulless, isn't he? I'm just gonna give him C because I just don't like him. Thatcher, yeah, if he's not banned, you'll pretty much always use him. Not quite as needed as he once was with all the other utility in the game, but still a very good pick. AR-33 is pretty damn good in my opinion. Don't know why I have to keep saying in my opinion, that's the whole point of the video. But anyway, breach charges, yeah, he's an A. Thermite, very underappreciated since the release of Ace because of, you know, the AK-12, and admittingly the lower amount of risk needed to use the gadget, but any breach with smokes, in my opinion, is very, very strong. So I'm going to say AK-12 do, yeah. I'm going to say upper A. Twitch, probably an upper B, maybe an A, with all the defender utility, especially Goyos, and yeah, all cams. Nice DMR, an F2, which, yeah, with a holo is really good. Otherwise, don't know about that recoil. Smokes as well, bugger it, she's going an A. Ying, 4 candelas, smokes or can openers, primary with 81 bullets, instant reload. Yeah, Warden out of play, probably the strongest operator in the field. S. Zero, sorry, I don't know why I put them in the wrong order, but Zero, heavily underutilized, good weapon, and useful enough gadget. I think it'll become better over the next year. Again though, he's very situational, so I'm going to give him a B. And finally, Zafia. Yeah, fell off pretty badly with the recoil and speed nerf. But still a useful operator. Like, I don't think it would take much tweaking to make her meta again. But at the moment, I think she's a B. But a few tweaks from now, she'll comfortably move into A because I think she is very strong, generally speaking. So yeah, B anyway. Right, well that sums it up, and as you can probably tell, pretty much every operator in the game, as I just said 20 odd minutes ago, is a viable option, with nobody really being absolutely shit. It just comes down to how your team likes to play and what defense on map you come up against, especially in ranked where people can have, shall we say, unique playstyles. But yeah, let me know what you think below. I'll have a defenders tier list coming out shortly. Well, thanks for your time and I'll speak to you soon.